come up here and pray. We shouldn't have 5 mini heart attacks. We're just talking to our Father. It's not that hard. So we all need a lot of boldness, that holy boldness. I mean, Saul didn't have the holy boldness, but he had some boldness. And we hear it all the time. As Sierra said last night, many of us profess, for God I live and for God I die. But we can't do these simple things. As I keep saying, we must be living examples. That's the easiest thing that we can do, is live to be who we say we are. We can't say one thing and do another. It's time for us to be and to do all that God is calling us to be. And, you know, as I keep saying, Saul, on the other hand, did not have this holy boldness. Well, it wasn't developed yet. He was hiding it. So we can walk around and we can sing everything that we hear on the radio. We know all the lyrics without the sheet being printed before us. We can do all the moves we see in the videos without missing a beat. But like I said, when it comes to reading scripture, we can't read what is lying before us on the paper. We can't sing the songs because we're too shy. We can't shout because the beat's not right, or it's not what we like to twerk to. So it's just time for us to have a boldness transformation. But let me stick to the text. I don't want to get too far away. So Saul was bold, and he was bold enough to execute this energy of hate that he had. And I keep telling you, he's a lot like many of us. Many of us say that she got one more time before you know the rest. Or I keep telling her she got one more time, she pushing my buttons. And we keep getting to that she pushing my buttons, but when it comes time to do something, we don't do it. And I'm not telling you to go out and be a thug or a gangster or, you know, any of that. I'm just saying we need to stand up for what we say and what we believe, which should be the love of Jesus Christ. And Saul wasn't out just lurking around trying to find stuff to pull up to show our friends, like, you know how we do. I don't want to get into that. But there was no contemplating and no conversation as to what he was going to do. He just took action. He said what he was going to do, and he did it. He meant it. There wasn't, no, I'm going to wait till she tweets me back, or I'm going to wait till she subtweets me, or I'm going to screenshot this and send it to my friend because I think she's talking about me, but I'm not sure. Or let me screenshot this Instagram picture because they hanging out, so that must mean they talking about me, but we just don't know. So chill out with that. But like I said, don't get it twisted. I'm not up here to tell you to be a divine thug. I'm just telling you that we need this level of boldness that Paul has. And not only was Saul bold, he was very intelligent. Saul had the ability to speak in many different languages, meaning that the English-speaking Christians weren't just his target. The Spanish-speaking Christians were his target. The Hebrew-speaking Christians were his target. The Swahili-speaking Christians were his target. Any language that he had, he could get you because he knew the language. So don't think you were getting away just because you talked to God in Spanish. He knew that too, and he was out to get you. But to top it all off, Saul was bold, he was intelligent, and he had connections. Saul knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody that could do whatever he needed them to do when he needed to do them. So we have Saul, he was bold, Saul was intelligent, and Saul was connected. Bold, intelligent, connected. Say it with me. Bold, intelligent, and connected. This enemy was. And that sounds like some of our enemies, right? They're bold enough to try us, and they're smart enough to know what to do, and they're connected for a purpose, though we don't know, but they're connected for a purpose. And, you know, the text tells us that Saul was on a mission preparing for this attack, and he first had to stop and make a visit at the high priest to receive the papers that would allow him to enter into Damascus. He had to get these papers to certify him that he could prosecute these Christians or the saints that were in Damascus. He had to first get the permission to attack. And the revelation that I received from this, and it kind of made me chuckle when I was at home, is did you know that the devil has to get permission before he can attack you? So every trial, every hardship, every attack that is coming to your life was first approved by God. He thinks that you're worthy enough to handle this task. And as Jalen told us on Monday, our pain has a purpose, and that all things, not just some things, but good and bad things, work together for our good. So think it not strange when a trial comes. Don't fret, don't get weary, don't throw in the towel, but find peace in knowing that you've been recommended to withstand and that you've been considered to overcome. So Saul is entering into Damascus, and he's well on his way now with the plan in mind. I'm going to kill these Christians. He got his boys with him. We're going, and everything is going to go down when I get there. But as verse 3 tells us, there was a sudden flash of light from heaven, and he was knocked down to the ground. And while on the ground, he heard a voice calling, saying, I'm just going to paraphrase for you. Hey, Saul, what do you think you're doing? You're out here doing your own thing, young man. You're out here harassing me, persecuting me, troubling me. Why are you doing this? What is your logic? Like, what are you doing? And Saul goes on to answer him saying, who are you, Lord? And let's pause here for a second because this threw me a little bit. Saul, the mass murderer, the Christian killer, the one totally against Christianity, the one that is against everybody that stands for it, the one that's against what it stands for itself, and totally against Jesus and his divine nature, has the nerve to say, who are you, Lord? And I said, okay, God, he don't believe in you. He's against you. I still don't get it. He's calling you Lord, but he doesn't believe in you. But the significance in this is that even your enemies, the ones that are against you, the ones that are attacking you, have to acknowledge you for who you are. Well, who am I? I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you who you are. You are a child of God. You are part of a royal priesthood. You are anointed. You are more than a conqueror. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are victorious. You are an overcomer. You are triumphant, and even your enemies can see that. That's why they're after you the way that they are. That's why the attacks may seem so heavy, simply because you are all that God says you are. This conversation continues by him saying, I am Jesus, the one you're persecuting. And he warns him by telling him that, these things that you're doing is very dangerous, and just to stop doing what you're doing, because it's not going to have a pretty end. This is going to get messy at the end if you keep going the way you're going. I'm trying to pull you out of your mess. And my mom's taught me many a times, after warning comes destruction. Okay, let's pause one more time. Let's clear up this verse a little bit. This verse is a clear visual of how gracious God is. This is a crystal clear presentation for us of God's mercy. God showed mercy towards Saul by warning him that the things that he was doing, the sin that he's committing, was only leading him to destruction, and that it was best for him to stop while he had the chance. Not to mention the fact that God had been granting him grace all while he was in his mess, in spite of his acts. And this is exactly how he is with us when we're out doing wrong, out in our mess, out gossiping, out lying, out sleeping around, out getting high, out getting drunk. His grace and mercy steps in before we're destroyed. His mercy is what kept you from getting AIDS and HIV when you were sharing the needle. His mercy is what kept you from getting that STD, from going from bed to bed, or having person to person come to your bed. It was his mercy is what kept your car from running into that ditch when you were out driving under the influence. It was his grace and mercy that saved you from destruction. And it's up to you to take heed to the warnings that he is giving you. And we're almost done. We just got to work the text a little bit. But after we get past the warning, we have Saul. He's like a deer in headlights. He's like this. That's how I vision him. So Saul is here all shook up, you know, a little fearful. The text tells us that he was trembling and that he was astonished and he was shocked and he was appalled. And when I was reading it, I feel like this is how Saul sounded when he responded to God. Lord, what do you desire me to do? What is it that you need from me? What can I do for you, Lord? And this is his moment of surrendering. This is the moment where he gave himself away. God, it's not my will, but it's your will. Whatever it is that you would have me to do, God, I'm doing it. God, I'm putting away this old man. I'm stepping into the new man. God, whatever you would have me to do, I'm tired of lying. I'm tired of this godless chatter, God. I just want to put it away. I want to be able to tell of your goodness. And what is it that you would have me to do, Lord? I'm tired of sleeping around trying to find love. I just want you. I just want to be free in you. I want to be able to love you how you love me. God, what is it that you would have me to do? I don't want to walk around depressed no longer. I'm tired of being sad. I want to experience the joy of you. I want the joy from you. I want the joy of knowing you. I want the joy of loving you. God, what is it that you want me to do? I want to be real about you. I want to be real about everything that you have for me, God. When they see me, I want them to see you. So what is it that you would have me to do, God? I don't want my past to control me. I want to pursue the plans that you have for me. So God, what is it that you would have me to do? And I'm done, honestly. I am finished already. But I need for you to get out that list that we made, and I need you to stand up with that list and to come forward and to lay that on the altar, because tonight we're getting rid of all of these things that have held us bound. Tonight we're delivering ourselves from ourselves. Tonight we're putting away this pettiness and this gossiping and the lying and the cheating. Don't wait on nobody else, because they can't deliver you. If you really truly want to get delivered for yourself on tonight, come lay it down on the altar. God, show me the me that you designed me to be. God, I want you to just deliver me from this unforgiveness. God, deliver me from my insecurities. God, deliver me from depression. God, deliver me from the things that I've done that haven't been pleasing to you. God, deliver me from those thoughts that I keep reminding myself of. God, deliver me from those people that have hurt me. God, deliver me from the past experiences. God, deliver me from past relationships, past hurt. God, deliver me from people that have hurt me. God, help me, God. Help me to be what you have called me to be. Help me to find my greater me, God. All the plans that you have for me, God, show them to me. God, I want to be who you have called me to be. God, the past mistakes, the past experiences, they can't hold me, God. Give me a new mind. God, give me a new thought pattern, God. Take it away, God. Give me a new mind, God. Take away the guilt from those things that I've done, God. Take away the resentment, God. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to hate her anymore, God. I just want to be able to love like you love, God. So, God, free me, God. God, free me from this unforgiveness that have manifested inside of me, God. God, free me from the people that have held me bound, God. But free me from myself, God. God, the thoughts that I allow myself to have, God, take them away, God. The feelings that I try to give myself to feel, God, take them away, God. All I need is you, God. So, God, you have your way in my life, God. God, I'm giving these things to you, God, for you to deliver me from me. Simply deliver me from me and these things that I have requested of you. And it's not just the act of you coming and laying it down. It's a true act of you believing that once you put it here, it's here to stay, never to return to it again. God, truly deliver me from these things that have held me bound. God, deliver me from these things that hurt me. God, I want to be free. God, I want to love how you designed me to love. God, I want to be how you designed me to be. I want to do and be all that you have created me to be. God, I'm believing you for this thing. I'm not just laying it down as an act because they're watching me, but God, I'm doing it because I believe you to free me from these things. And now at this time, if there's anyone who is not saved, I ask that you come now. Don't wait until it's too late. Come now. Now is the right time for you to come. If you need special prayer, I invite you to come. If you want to come and stand and believe that what you've laid down is laid down and that is it, that settles it. God, you've delivered me from this and I believe it and I'm thanking you in advance. If you want to come and touch and agree, I'll meet you down there. But we have to be real about this thing. It's never too late for God to use any of us. God used a murderer, somebody that was after him, somebody that was after people who believed in him. He used him. He converted him. You're never unworthy. You're never worthless. You're never nothing that God can't turn into something. So allow him to use you. Allow him to give you that right mind. Allow him to give you that new heart, that right spirit within him. Just allow him to open doors for you. Totally trust in him. As Chelsea said, many times we profess that we trust God, but we don't know until the test comes. And when we start to get weary, where's that trust? So God, I'm here. God, I need you. God, build that holy boldness in me so that I may be and say all that you would have me to be, so that I may say all that you would have me to say. God, I'm not worried about what people think about me. I'm not worried about the Sauls in my life because, God, I said, for you I live and for you I die. And I mean that thing. I'm going to stand on that thing. It's not about us anymore. It's not. It's about kingdom work. It's about getting our souls right. So I invite you to come. If you're not right and you know you're not right, come. There's no Sauls in here. I can assure you of that. There are no Sauls in here to condemn you or anything. If you need to get it right, tonight is your night. The rest of this night is not even promised to anybody. So I invite you to come.